Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. Today we are going to build a custom service that you can integrate on any of your website, that may be your portfolio or any other personal site, to actually spy on the users. And this works without any authentication system. We'll be going to integrate this with a React portfolio, but you can also integrate it with any of your website after you learn how to do it. And I will explain every detail how they are going to work. Firstly, let us see what today's project has to offer. So this is our demo portfolio site where we have integrated the spying system. So to see that, firstly, let us go to the dashboard. And you can see when I try to visit the dashboard, I am being prompted to enter the password. And when I enter the password, now you can see I can visit dashboard. As there is no authentication system, I had to manually protect the routes using password. Now you can think that if anybody has this URL, he can access the dashboard. But if I copy that and let us open a new incognito tab and paste it here, you can see that I cannot visit the dashboard. So the route is very well protected without any authentication system. Now again, let us go back. So what are the data that we are going to store here or show here? Firstly, the total number of visits that you can see here. Total 197 people visited this site. And after that, total unique visitors. And what's the difference between these two? The first one, that is total visits. And that means a particular user can visit multiple times. And after that, the most viewed visitor. We have tracked the IP of the most viewed visitor and also how many times he visited this site. Then there is a bar chart that shows on a particular date how many people visited this site. Like here on 25th October 2024, a total of 18 people visited this site. And after that, there is a pie chart that shows visitors by location. Like here, from Dallas, US, 11 people visited the site. Then like Council Bluffs, 3 people. And then from Washington, 3 people visited this site. And not only this information, if I click on more details, here we can see we are going to store each detail of every user. Like what is the IP address of the user, where is the user from. We are going to track his user agent also. That means which operating system the user is using, from which device the user is using this site, and some other agent informations. We are also tracking when the first time the user visited the site and also when the last time he visited the site. And also we are tracking the number of views. So we are going to build this demo frontend by using React, and we are going to build the backend in Node.js. So without any further ado, let us get started with our today's project. So let us start our today's project by creating an empty folder. Name this my portfolio, and inside it I will create another 2 folders. Firstly, the frontend, and then the backend. And quick note before we dive in, that is, if you don't want to build this frontend from scratch, no worries. You can totally skip this part and jump straight into the logic section. So for that, you can just clone the initial boilerplate project from GitHub and start from there. I have given the link in the description box. That is super simple. Or maybe you already have your own project and just want to integrate this analytics system into it. That's also totally fine. You can skip this front-end part and plug the logic right into your existing app. But if you want to build it step by step with me, stick around for a few minutes and we'll get it done together. Now I will open my portfolio with VS Code. So you can click here, write CMD and enter. You can see that a command prompt has appeared and I am inside my portfolio directory. Now simply write code space dot, press enter. You can see that my portfolio, this folder has opened with VS Code. So firstly, let us initialize the front-end part. So press Ctrl J to open the terminal for Windows. If you are using Mac or others, then that may be Command J or something like that. So firstly, we have to, you can see we are inside my portfolio, but we want to initialize the front-end part inside the front-end directory. So change directory to you can press tab and get suggestion. So we are inside frontend. Now we will create a React app using Vite. So npm create Vite @latest. And it is asking for a project name, but we want that this frontend directory, that will be our project name and our project directory. So simply press dot, then it will be automatically selected. Press enter. Now select the framework. For our case, that is React. Select a variant or the language. We will select JavaScript. We are almost done. Now simply write npm install. Our dependencies are installed. Now for styling our project, we'll use Tailwind CSS. So open a browser. Now go to tailwindcss.com. Go to their docs and go to installation, and here you can see the process of installation using Vite. Firstly, copy this command to install Tailwind, then paste it here, press enter, and remember that you should be inside frontend directory. Then we have to import Tailwind in Vite configuration. So copy this, go to vite.config.js, press Ctrl J to hide the terminal. Now import it here. And another thing that we have to include Tailwind CSS inside plugins. So here after React, give a comma, then paste it. We are almost done. Only one thing, we have to import Tailwind CSS inside the index file. So if you go inside src, you will see index.css. So click here. You can remove all the CSS from here. Control A, then delete all this. Then simply paste the import of Tailwind CSS and save this. And I think we are almost done. Now you can delete app.css from here, delete it, and inside app.jsx you can delete everything from here. I will simply give a h1 tag and say hello world. Save this. Now Ctrl J to open the terminal again. Now write npm run dev to run the development server. You can see the development server is started on port 5173. So Ctrl plus click. You can see hello world. Now let us test that if our Tailwind classes are working or not. So give a class name. Let's say text 3xl. We can see it is working perfectly. So now we need some other dependencies. First of all, for routing purposes, we need React Router DOM. So close the server. npm install React Router DOM, and please be cautious that you are inside frontend directory. So press enter. Now again you can start the server npm run dev, and you can press Ctrl J to hide the terminal. Now here we'll remove everything. Remove this also. Now we have to import something from React Router DOM. From React Router DOM, what we have to import? We have to import three things. Firstly, the browser router, then routes, and finally route. In this return, firstly we'll return a browser router. Inside browser router, there will be routes, and inside routes there will be several routes. We don't have any page yet, so let us create a new folder inside src, name it pages, and first of all we will create the home page. So home.jsx, you can write RAFCE and you can see React arrow functional export component, press enter. And if you don't see this, you have to install an extension that is maybe ES7 snippets. I think this one, ES7 plus React Redux React Native snippets. If you install that, you will get some shortcuts for creating some functions or variables. Now, after we have created home, let us go inside app.jsx, create a route, then give a path. So on slash, that means on home route, we will show the element home page. So home, import home from dot slash pages slash home and save it. Now we can see home here. Now let us create some components. Inside src, create a new folder named components and create a new component named navbar.jsx. Again, write RAFCE and enter. You can remove the React import from here. Now let us style our navbar. Firstly, we have to import the navbar in app.jsx. Here below browser router, we'll simply import the navbar. So we have imported navbar from ./component/navbar. Now give it a class name of width full, then height 14, bg of gray 300, make it fixed, then opacity 90. Now give it a z index of 10 and the margin will be auto and the contents inside will be flex, then justify center and also items center. Now create another div inside, give it a class name of flex justify between items center, then width full, and for medium and large devices the maximum width will be 5 pixel and make it relative. Now give a h2 tag here, write meow the dev, you can see here, and you can see that the home has gone under the navbar. So how can we fix that? Go to home and give it a class name of absolute and margin top of 14 and also width full. Now this is fine. Again go to navbar. Now give this h2 a class name of text excel. The font will be bold and on hover the text will be orange 400 and give it a transition. I think this works fine, and on click of this we should go to the home route. So wrap this up with a link tag and import this from react router DOM. Now paste that inside, Alt Shift F to indent, then give this link a path to, it will be slash, that means home page. Now it's working like a link. You can see below that localhost 5173. Now under this we will create a image tag and we'll put a image here. Now from where we will get the image? You can get it from my GitHub repository, the initial boilerplate. I have given the link in the description box. And for now I will take the image from my desktop here. I will put this inside assets. Now we have to import the image first. So import now image from /assets/logo.png and simply put the image name here. Now we have to style it a little bit. So give it a class name. The height will be 10. I think it's good. Rounded full object contain. Then on hover, give it a medium shadow. And the cursor will be pointer. I think it's good now. Now on clicking of this, I want to show a drop down menu. So for that reason, firstly let us initialize a state. So const is open and set is open is equal to use state, import use state from React, and the initial value will be false. That means the dropdown will not show initially. Now when we click on this image, press Alt Shift F. Now all are indented. So give it an onClick property. A function will be invoked on clicking of that image that will set is open to the opposite of is open. That means if the tab is open or if the drop down is open, then it will close it, and if it is closed, then it will open it on clicking of this. Now let us create the drop down menu. For that reason, below the image, put curly braces, then if is open, then we want to render a div, and inside that, first of all, let us put a demo text. Now we cannot see it now. Let us click here. You can see demo, but the position is not perfect, so we have to style it a little bit. So give it a class name of absolute, then right 0, top 12, then give it a background of white and width of 40, and make it rounded medium, and give it a shadow medium. So I think now it's quite good. Now inside this div there will be an unordered list. So create an unordered list. Give this a class name of padding y1, then text will be small and text gray 700. Now create the list items. Firstly, there will be, let's say, profile. Give it a class name of, let's say, on hover it will be cyan 100, then padding in x-axis will be 4, padding in y-axis will be 2, and the cursor will be of type pointer. Now if you click, you can see it's good enough. Now copy this and paste this 2 more times. So the second one, make this, let's say, settings, and the last one, that will be dashboard. Now let us see how this looks. So click here. So this looks quite fine. Now we will only work on the dashboard section. That means when you click on dashboard, we will be routed to a dashboard page. So for that reason, wrap this list item. So cut this, give a link tag here and paste that inside. Now this will route towards slash dashboard. Alt Shift F to indent. So you can see when I hover in dashboard, here in the bottom you can see slash dashboard, but we haven't yet created the dashboard page. We'll create it later. Now let us create a banner for our Meow's portfolio. So inside components, create a new component named banner.jsx and write RAFCE. You can remove the React import, then Let me close the navbar. And inside home, here rather than home, we will import banner. So banner is imported from /components/banner. You can see banner. Now let us style the banner a little bit. So give the div a class name of minimum height of screen, then bg orange 50, and the width will be full, flex, and justify center. It looks quite good. Now create another div inside. Give this div a class name of flex, then with full, justify between, then items center, and max width of 5 pixel. Now inside that div, we'll create a h2 tag saying hello, I am Meow the dev. After am, give a line break and wrap this up with a span tag because I want to make the color of this a little bit different. So give it a class name of text orange 400. You can see it here. Now give the h2 class name. So text of 5 pixel, then font bold and uppercase. So you can see it looks quite good. Now below the h2 tag, we will put a paragraph, and in the h2 give another class name, that is margin bottom of let's say 4. Okay, now I will paste a paragraph here that I have written earlier. Give a beer tag here, beer, and let's wrap this up, the paragraph and the h2, with a div. So you can cut this margin bottom of 4 and give this div a class name of space y4. Now below this paragraph there will be a button. So btn, let's say view cv. Now let us style this button. So give it a class name of, let's say, padding in x-axis of 4, padding y 2, then bg orange 400, then rounded medium, text sm, give it a border transparent, then on hover make the border orange 400, and on hover the text will be also orange 400, and on hover the background will be let's say transparent, and the cursor will be of type pointer, and give it a transition, and then give it a shadow of sm. On hover the shadow will be medium. Now if you go, so you can see the button looks quite good. Now under this div, that means inside the parent div, here I will create an image tag, and I will import the image that I imported earlier on navbar. So let us import the image from /assets/image. And what's wrong with it? Oh, I have made a mistake. From. Now simply let us keep the image name here. Let us style it a little bit. So give it a class name of height 96, then border in y will be of 4, then rounded 2xl, padding of 2, then border orange of 400. And how I am getting this Tailwind suggestions? Because I am using an extension that I forgot to tell you, that is Tailwind Intelligence. If I search it, Tailwind, this one, Tailwind CSS Intelligence. Now let us align this a little bit. So justify center and items also center. Now it looks fine. Okay. Now I think we are done with the initial front-end setup. Now simply let us see how actually we can integrate the analytics section. That means we'll see how many people visited our website or visited our portfolio, and from which device they are visiting this, and what is their location, and we'll create some bars and charts and we'll show the stats in them. So firstly, we have to know what three things we are going to store for our analytics. The first one that we are going to store, that is IP address. Why? Because we use the IP address to help identify unique users and understand the traffic sources. It can also give us a rough idea of the user's location, which is helpful for regional insights and detecting suspicious activity. Then the second one, that is user agent, because the user agent tells us what browser and device a visitor is using. Also, this helps us to optimize our site for different platforms and also troubleshoot issues user might face on specific browsers or devices. And the third thing, that is the location, and we will fetch the location based on an IP. There are some APIs by which we can actually get the location and also the IP address. So the two APIs that we are going to use today, that are firstly IP5, that is a simple public IP address API. Like if you go to the API uses here, if you copy this and if you go to a new tab and paste that, you will see you will get the IP response, that is your public IP. So let us use this. Now the question is, how and where will we use that? So when somebody opens our website, then first of all he will land on this page or home page, isn't it? So for that reason, we can actually define the logic in our home page. We will simply put a use effect for doing side effects with an empty array. That means on initial render, the function will be called and it will simply take the IP of the user and make a call to the backend and save the IP to the database. Now let us see how we can do that. So on the home page, and if you want to track the visitors for a particular page of your site, then you will simply go to that particular page. That means, let's say I want that how many people entered in banner.jsx, then I would actually put the logic in this banner page. But for now I want that if any people lands on my site, I will simply take his IP and send that to the database. So create a function const track visitor equal to, it will be an asynchronous function. So first of all, let us put a fetch request to the API that we got from here. Copy this and paste it inside a quotation. Now let us store the response in a variable. So const IP response is equal to this. Now let us parse the JSON. So const data equal to await IP response dot JSON. Now let us log this data, what we can get inside that. We have to create a use effect hook. So use effect, import it, create a function, then an empty array. That means it will run on the initial render. Now simply call track visitor here. So if you go to the site and click on inspect, then go to console, and I will remove all this, then simply refresh. You can see we are getting the IP here. So we are getting an object in the data. So let us simply destructure the IP directly from here. So IP. Now we have got the IP. Using this IP, we will search for the location. So for getting location, there is another API, that is IP API, search it. Then this one, ipapi.co. Here, if you paste any IP address, then you can get the location data of that user. So firstly, from here, let us copy this, paste it here, enter. We are getting an IP address. Then copy the IP address, then paste it here, and you can click on IP lookup and you will see all the data about the user from that IP address. So now let us go to their docs and see how we can actually use their API to get the data. So you can see the format here. We have to call this API. So copy this and let us go to our VS Code. Now const location response equal to await fetch, give a quotation, paste that. Now remove this and we have to dynamically put the IP that we just fetched earlier here, this IP. So for that reason, make this a dynamic string, then simply put the IP that we fetched from the previous API. Now again parse this JSON. So const location data equal to await location response dot JSON. Now let us log this file and see what we can get here. Location data. Let us refresh the website again. We can see a lot of information we are getting here, like the city, the country, country area, and a lot of information. So we will not save all of this. We will simply take the city and the country and convert that into a single string. So let's say const location equal to location data dot city plus, we'll give a comma, then plus location data dot country. So we are done with IP address and the location. And the final thing we are going to store in our database, that is the user agent. So const user agent is equal to navigator dot user agent. And if you want to see what this user agent is, you can simply log this user agent and you will see you will get different data about the user's device and browser. So refresh this. Here you can see the user agent, that is Mozilla, Windows 64-bit, then we are getting the browser details, etc. Now, what will you do? That is, we have to store these three things inside the database. So for that reason, let us create our backend. So save this for now. Now again, open the terminal, create a new terminal here, move inside backend, press tab to get suggestion. Now inside backend, let us initialize a Node.js project. So npm init-y. If you close frontend and open backend, you can see a package.json folder. Now let us install the necessary dependencies. So npm install, we will need Express, then Mongoose, then course and .env. So you can close this for now. So let us create an entry point for our project, that will be index.js. Firstly, import Express from Express. Then we have to import .env from .env. Then we will need course, import course from course. Then we will need Mongoose from Mongoose. Now, firstly, let us config the .env.config, create an instance of Express const app is equal to Express. Then we will use course app.use course. What is course used for? For actually accessing cross-origin resources. That means if your frontend is running on one domain and your backend is running on another, then you can communicate between them by using course. Then we have to use the express.json middleware for parsing the JSON. Now let us define a port. Const port equal to process.env.port, or let's say 5000. Now app.listen, we will pass the port here and a callback function, and simply log a message that server is running on port. Now if you start the backend, node index.js, you will see an error that is set type equal to module in the package.json, because here we are importing this in the ES6 import style, but we haven't mentioned it in our package.json, so we have to explicitly mention that the type will be module. Now again, node index.js. Now you can see server is running on port 5000, but we will not actually run our server using this. So Ctrl C, close the server again. We will install nodemon, npm I nodemon, but we'll install this as our development dependency. So you can see nodemon is installed as a dev dependency, and we will create some script for running our project. Firstly, dev, that is nodemon index.js, and another script start, that is for production, that will be node index.js. Now here, go to your terminal again inside backend. Simply write the command npm run dev, and you can see the server is started, but this time nodemon is watching for any changes. That means if you change anything in your code, then your server will be automatically started. You don't need to manually start it again and again. Now we will create the models for our project. Firstly, create a new folder inside backend, name these models, then create a new file, name it visitor.model.js. Firstly, we have to import Mongoose. Then we will create a schema. So const visitor schema equal to new mongoose.schema. Then firstly, we'll store the IP. It will be of type string and required true. Then the location, it's also of type string and it is also required. Then the user agent, it's also type of string and it is also required. Then we'll store another thing, that is the view count. That means how many times the person with this IP address viewed the site. So for that reason, view count, it will be of type number, and it will have a default value of 1. Now we'll add the timestamps field. So timestamps true. This will automatically store the time when the visitor was created and also when it was updated. Now const visitor equal to mongoose.model, name it visitor, and we have to provide the schema, visitor schema. And let's also export this. So export const visitor. So now we are done with creating the visitor model. Now let us create some controllers. So create a new folder in backend, that is controllers. Create a new file, name it visitor.controller.js. Now firstly, we'll create the add visitor function. So export const add visitor is equal to async request response. Then firstly, we'll destructure the IP, then location, and also user agent from the request.body. Then put a try catch block. For error, we'll simply console.error error in adding visitor, and also we'll log the error. Then response.status, we'll send a response back with status code of 500.json. Put a message that internal server error. Now inside try block, firstly, let us see if any visitor with this IP exists in the database or not. So for that reason, let visitor is equal to await visitor. This is the visitor model. You have to import it from /model/visitor model.js. Remember to put JS here or you will get an error. So await visitor dot find one actually, and we'll find by the IP. So if a visitor with this IP is present in our database, then what will you do? We'll simply visitor dot view count plus equal to 1. So we'll simply increment the view count and await visitor dot save. And else, that means if no visitor with this IP is present in the database, then we will create a new visitor. So const new visitor equal to new visitor. Then we have to pass the IP, then the location, and finally user agent. Now after we have created the new visitor, we'll simply save it. Await new visitor dot save. After we have saved, let us send a response with a status code of 200.json message visitor tracked successfully. And also let us send the visitor with this. Now let us also create the get visitor stats function. So export const get visitor stats equal to async request response, then write a try catch block, and inside error simply copy this and paste it here and change the message here. Let's say error in fetching visitor stats. And inside try block, firstly let us find all the visitors. So const visitors equal to await visitor, this is the visitor model, dot find. So we are finding all the visitors and putting it here. Now let us find the total visitors. So const total visitors is equal to simply visitors dot length. Now we have to find total visits. That means some visitor visited the site for, let's say, 4 times, some visitor for 5 times. Totally they visited actually 4 plus 5, that is 9 times. So we are also going to find that. So const total visits is equal to, we will use the reduce method. So visitors dot reduce. Then firstly we have to pass an accumulator, that is sum, and also the current visitor, then put an arrow function. So the sum equal to sum plus visitor dot view count, and also the initial value of sum. So this will give us the total number of visits, and then we will find the top visitor. That means the user who visited for the highest number of times. So const top visitor is equal to await visitor dot find one, then dot sort, then simply write view count -1. This will return the topmost visitor with the highest view count. And after that, we'll simply return this. So response dot status, let's say 200 dot JSON. Then firstly we'll pass the visitors, then total visitors. So these visitors is an array which contains all the visitors data, then total number of visitors, then total visits, and finally the top visitor. And we are done. But we still haven't connected the database yet. So for that reason, firstly we'll go to MongoDB Atlas, search for MongoDB Atlas, click on Atlas database, then sign in. And if you don't have an account, then you can register with Google or your email and password. I will sign in with Google. And if you are new to MongoDB, you can watch one of my previous videos, that is Connect Express and MongoDB. There I have showed how you can create your MongoDB account and how to create a cluster by configuring the network and also your username and password. So firstly I'll go to database access, then I will add a new user. So let's say test user, and the password I will auto generate it. Then copy the password in a secured file. So we will create a .env file in the home directory of backend. So .env. Now let us paste the username, that was test user, and also paste the password. Now again go to MongoDB Atlas, give a role to this user. I will give Atlas admin, then add user. So you can see a test user is created. Now go to clusters and click on connect. Click on drivers, and here you will be provided with a connection URL. Now again go to .env. Here let's say Mongo URL equal to, paste that, and replace this DB username with this username that you just created. So paste it here, and also copy this password and also replace this with DB password, and you can remove this. Then after mongodb.net, here you can provide any name to your database. So I will say portfolio DB. Save this. Then we are done with creating the controllers. Now we will create the routes. So for that reason, firstly create a new folder, name it routes, then create a new file, say visitor.route.js. Now firstly import Express from Express, then create an instance of router. So const router equal to express.router. Here I have made a typing mistake, so from. Now router dot post, so slash, let's say add, then we'll call the add visitor function. So this is imported from dot dot slash controller slash visitor controller, and remember to put JS here. And also router dot get slash, now import get visitor stats controller, and finally export the router as a default export. Now in index.js file, firstly let us connect our database. So mongoose.connect, then pass the connection URL process.env.mongo URL dot, then if it is connected successfully, then we'll simply log a message that is MongoDB connected successfully, and if any error occurs, we'll catch the error dot catch, then receive the error, and then simply console log error in Mongo connection, then simply write the error and press Ctrl save, and here you can see MongoDB connected successfully. Now we have to import the routes that we just created, visitor route. So here firstly let us import visitor routes from dot slash routes slash visitor route.js. Then after connection, app dot use, if it is slash API slash visitors, then we will redirect them to visitor routes. I think we are done. So this is our entry point. After someone hits slash API slash visitors, we will redirect them to visitor routes. Then here, if it is slash add, then he will add the user, and else if it is a get method, then we'll send the visitor stats from the database. So now our front end is maybe running here. Yes. Now close all this, open front end, src, then pages, home. Here we collected all the data. Now we'll simply save this to the database. So await fetch, give the backend URL, that is http / localhost, it was 5000, then slash API slash visitors slash add. Now you have to define the method. So method post, then headers, content type, application slash JSON, and finally inside body we'll send the data. So JSON dot stringify, give the IP, then location and user agent. And I think we are done. Now if you come here and refresh the page and go to your MongoDB database, go to browse collections. Here you can see a new database, portfolio DB, and a visitors collection. Click on that and you can see the visitors information here. So we are getting the IP, the location, the user agent, and also the view count. Why 2? Because I refreshed that 2 times. So any people landing on the page, the function will get invoked and the data will be saved to database. But there is one problem, that is, let's say the user has landed to the website and he hasn't closed it yet, but with each refresh his view count is increasing. So that is an edge case, we have to handle that. So for that reason, what I will do after the fetch request, that is I will store the visit data, that is when the last time this user visited this site. So JSON.stringify, then I will create a timestamp, then date dot now. So it will store when the user last visited the site. So before putting the fetch request, I will firstly check. So const visit data is equal to JSON.parse local storage dot get item, then visit data. That means if visit data exists, then firstly we will calculate 1 hour, const 1 hour is equal to 60 multiplied by 60 multiplied by 1000. So when I will put the post request, that is if there is no visit data, or if date dot now minus visit data dot timestamp is greater than 1 hour, then we will put the fetch request. So I think you can understand now what am I doing. That is, I am tracking when the last time this user visited this site, and I am actually storing the timestamp in local storage. And before again putting the fetch request, that means if he loads the page again, then firstly I will check that if any visit data is present in the local storage, or if present, if the data indicates the timestamp was 1 hour ago. So if he last visited 1 hour ago, then again we'll put a post request and it will count his view count. But if it is within 1 hour, then we will not put any further request to the database. So this is actually reducing the server load by sending data only once per hour. Now we are done with this. Now let us create the dashboard page to actually show the data. So firstly, on pages, create a new file, that is dashboard.jsx, write RAFCE. You can remove the React import from here. Now go to app.jsx. Here write a new route, give the path slash dashboard, then it will show the element dashboard. Import dashboard from ./pages/dashboard, then close the tag, and I think we are done. So click on dashboard. Now you are on the dashboard page, but you can see the dashboard is actually gone under the navbar. So on dashboard here, give a class name of absolute, then margin top of 14. Now I think it's fine. So now give this a minimum height of screen, then background of gray 100 and a padding of 8, and also width will be full. Now create another div, give this a class name of margin bottom of 8, then firstly write h1 tag, then visitor temp, and give this a class name text 3xl, font bold and text black. Then under this put a link tag, import this from React Router DOM, then a paragraph with class name of text blue 500 and underline. This will be more details, and this link will route us to /dashboard/details. Now under this div we will show the data. So for that reason, firstly we have to fetch the data. So here create a state, so const data set data is equal to use state, import it from React, and it will be initially null. Now write a use effect hook, give a function and an empty dependency array. Then there I will create a function const fetch visitors data is equal to, and it will be asynchronous obviously. So put a try catch block, then catch the error first, console.error error in fetching visitor data, and also the error. Then inside try, firstly const response equal to await fetch, give the URL, that is http://localhost 5000/API/visitors. Now pass the JSON, so const result equal to await response.json, then simply set data, that is result. Also create a state for loading, so const loading set loading is equal to use state, so firstly it will be false, then before starting fetching the data set loading will be true, and after we have done setting the data, then set loading again false, and if also we get any error, then also set loading will be false. And then after that we have to simply call the function, so fetch visitors data, and before returning our body we'll firstly check if loading, then we'll simply show a loading spinner, so return will return let's say a div saying loading, give it a class name of text 3XL, font bold, flex justify center, and items center, and also mean height of screen. Now if you refresh here, you can see a slight loading. Now here create a div that will be of type grid, then grid calls 1 for smaller devices, and for medium to large devices grid calls 3, then give a gap of 6 and also margin bottom of 8. Then inside this create another div, give it a class name of bg red, let's say 500, then give a padding of 6, rounded to XL, and give a shadow. Inside this div there will be a paragraph that will say total visits, and give it a class name of text white, and below this paragraph there will be a h2 tag saying total visits. I will get this inside data dot let us go to the backend inside controllers, here data dot total visits. So data dot total visits, and give this h2 a class name that is text to XL, font bold, and text white. So you can see total visits 2. Now copy this div and paste that 2 more times. Then here in the second one let us give this background blue, and here rather than total visits we will show unique visitors. So total unique visitors, that will be data dot total visitors. So total visitors, here you can see total unique visitors, that is 1. And the final one, it will be most viewed visitor. Change the background of this to, let's say, green, and what we send for most viewed visitor, that is top visitor. So that will be data dot top visitor. Okay, so the top visitor contains I think 3 properties, that is his IP, his location, and user agent. So data dot top visitor dot, let's say, IP. Now refresh this. I think we are getting an error, and that is, I don't know what error am I getting. So let's put a null check here and also here. Okay, now it's working. And for most viewed visitor, data dot top visitor dot IP, and here we can see the IP of the most viewed visitor. And also below this h2 tag create a paragraph where I will show the views, how many times this visitor actually visited. So data dot top visitor dot view count, and give this a class name text sm and text gray of 100. So here you can see the views, that is 2. And let us check the responsiveness. It is working perfectly. I think it looks fine. Now we'll add the charts. So for that reason, let us create another div here, div. So this div, it was showing this visitor temp and more details. Then this div here, where I created a grid of columns of 3. This is showing this, and finally the div that I created that is going to show the charts. So for that reason, firstly, let us close the frontend server, Control C. Then we have to go to Recharts. Click on the first link, Recharts. Go to examples. There is no installation method here. Okay, let us go to guide. Here you can see the installation method. So npm install Recharts. Paste that. Let us go to examples. Search for simple bar chart. Here you will be provided with a demo code. I will use this. So let us go to our VS Code and start the frontend server, npm run dev. Press Ctrl J to hide the terminal and give this div a class name of grid calls 1 for smaller devices and grid calls of 2 for medium to larger devices. Actually for larger devices, then give a gap of 8. Now inside this div, create another div. Give this a class name of bg orange, let's say 200. Then padding of 6, rounded to XL, and also give a shadow. Then here create a h2 tag and write visitors per day and give it a class name of text XL, then text black, font semi-bold, and also margin bottom of 4. Then below this h2 we will actually create the chart. So for creating the chart, the things that we need that are bar chart, bar, rectangle, x-axis, y-axis, all these things. So let us import this first, or you can copy that from there. So import firstly the bar chart. We are done getting suggestions, so right here from Recharts. Now bar chart, now you are getting suggestion, then bar, then x-axis, y-axis, then tooltip, then responsive container, pie chart, then pie, and also cell. Remember to put a comma here, and don't get confused, I just imported all this from here. Now we will create the bar chart here firstly. So for creating bar chart, we will need the data. So firstly we have to process all the data to show them. So let us process the data. So in the bar chart, we will, in the x-axis there will be dates, and on the y-axis there will be the number of visits on that particular date. So now firstly create an empty object, name it daily visitors, then run a loop on data.visitors.for each. We'll get a visitor, then a callback function. So firstly let us format the date, because you know in MongoDB the date format is not quite good. So for that reason we will convert it to new date v dot created at dot to local date string. Now daily visitors date will be equal to, firstly we'll check if any daily visitor exists or not. So daily visitors of date, so if it exists, then we'll take this data, or we'll simply say 0 plus 1. So actually we are counting the number of visits in a particular date. So after finishing the count, now what we'll do, we'll simply convert this to an array. So const bar chart data is equal to object dot entries, then daily visitors dot map. So you're running a map on daily visitors object, then the two keys for the object data and count, then simply return the date and also the count. We did a typo, it will be date. So what we are doing actually, we are simply converting the object that contained daily visitors data into an array of object that contains date and count. Now let us firstly console log this. So console log bar chart data, refresh the page. I think we have got an error. So here also we have to do the optional chaining. So data dot visitors. Okay, now we are getting the object. Here you can see we are getting an array of objects containing the date and also the count. Now let us create the bar chart. So go to the div that you created firstly, then we have to provide a responsive container because we want the bar chart to be responsive. Then simply create the bar chart tag bar chart. Now we have to provide the data bar chart data, then x-axis and data key will be equal to the date, and then also y-axis, then we'll provide the tooltip, then the bar, and here the data key will be count, and we'll fill this with a color. So let's say I have copied a color earlier, 38BDF8. And if you see, it is going infinite because we haven't actually set any height yet. So let us fix the height, let's say 300, and give the width, let's say 100%. Now let us refresh. Now you can see, as we have only one viewer on this date, so we are getting the only one data. So as only one user visited on this date, so we are getting the count as 1, and here we are getting only the unique visitors data. So now after we have done creating the bar chart, let us create the pie chart. So for pie chart also we will have to process the data. So how we will process that? Firstly, we have to know that what we are going to actually show in the pie chart. So in the pie chart, if you go in the website of Recharts, then search for pie chart, that is, I think this one, pie chart with customized level. So each segment of the pie will indicate a particular area and also the number in that segment that will represent that how many visits happen from that area. So let us process our data according to that. So for that reason, firstly, let us create an empty object, const location data is equal to an empty object, then again data put an optional chaining dot visitors dot for each. We'll get a visitor, then we'll simply count the total number of visits from that location. So location data of v dot location is equal to if location data of v dot location exists, then we'll take this, or we'll take 0 plus 1. So we are counting the total number of visits from that location. Then after that, const by chart data is equal to object dot entries. We'll pass the location data dot map. Again, we'll create an array consisting of objects that will have fields naming, name and value. So give a callback function. It will return the objects with the name and value. Now let us create the pie chart and pass the data there. Let us create another div here. So div, give it a class name, same as this div, but let us change the color for this. And inside that, create a header tag and write visitors by location. Give it a class name, text, Excel font semi-bold and text black, also margin bottom of 4. Then below this h2, we'll create a responsive container. Provide this with the width of, let's say, 100%, and also give this a height of, let's say, 300. And then we'll create the pie chart. Then there will be the pie. Then inside pie, we will show the data. So how the data are shown? If you go to their website, you will see this method. So we will simply copy this and then paste that here. And you will need a colors array. So let me expand this. Here you will see an array of colors. You can copy it, or I have my own colors array. I'm going to use that. So let us paste the colors array here. Now we have to provide some other properties also in the pie. First of all, we have to provide the data. That will be the pie chart data that we just processed. Then cx of, let's say, 50%, then cy 50%, and the outer radius, it will be 100. Then the data key of value. Then I'll provide the label. We have got some error. What is the error? Okay, I missed a bracket here and I have to close that. Now refresh the page. Still we are getting error. So let us go to inspect. Cannot read properties of reading map. So this will actually be pie chart data. Okay, now I think everything is perfect. Here you can see the visitors by location. One thing I forgot to mention actually, that here in the pie chart, before closing the pie chart, you can insert the tooltip. So if you insert it, then if you hover over on any segment of the pie, then you will see the data or the location which is represented by that segment. And if you don't understand that from where I get all those, I just simply copied and pasted from their documentation. Here you can see they have provided with all the properties that I need for creating a pie chart and also a bar chart. So I think we are almost done with basic dashboard. Now let us create the more details page. So create a new page inside pages, say more details.jsx, write RAFCE, and you can remove the React import from here. Now go to app.jsx, create a new route, provide a path slash dashboard slash details, then the element will be more details. Remember to import it and then close the tag. Now if I click on more details, I'm in the more details page. So give this a class name of absolute, then margin top of 14. Now let's get started with creating this page. So in this page also we will need all the visitors data. So for that reason, go to dashboard, then copy this use effect hook also with the function inside, then paste that here. We have to import use effect, and then we need these two states, so copy this also, paste it here, then import use state. Now copy the loading, paste that here. Now I think we are almost done. Now inside this div, create a h1 tag saying visitor details. Give this a class name of, let's say, text Excel font semi-bold, then margin bottom of 2 and text gray 700. Then under this, create an unordered list. We will give this a class name of bg gray, let's say 100, and then it will be rounded large, and padding will be 4, and space in y-axis will be, let's say 2. Sorry, it will be in y-axis. Now inside this UL, I will simply do data dot visitors dot map will get a single visitor, then return a li, give this li a key, that is visitor dot underscore id, and also a class name of, let's say, padding of 2, then bg white rounded lg, and a shadow. Now create a paragraph tag, give it a class name of font medium, then text cyan 800, then create a span, let's say IP, then give this span a class name of font bold and text small. Then after that, simply we'll show visitor.ip. Now copy this and paste that 2 more times. Then here we'll say location, and here we'll say the user agent. So this will be visitor.location and this will be visitor.user agent. Now give this color of, let's say, gray 700, and also this one gray 700. And let's actually decrease the size of the text here. So text XS, and for this one also text XS. Now we want to show the first and last visit of the user and also the view count. So for that reason, below this paragraph, create another paragraph. You can copy this and paste this here. Now this will be first visit, that will be visitor dot created at, and the last visit, copy this, paste it below. It will be visitor dot updated at. Give this a margin top of 2, and also you can create a HR tag here and give this a class name of margin top of 2. Okay, I think this looks fine. Now let us format this timestamp. So enclose this with a bracket. Here write new date, then dot to local date string, and you can see it is nicely formatted. And for this one also, enclose this with a bracket, then new date, and then dot to local date string. It looks good. And this one is last visit actually. And then we'll show the views. So another paragraph tag with a class name of bg blue, let's say 500, then text white rounded full, padding x of 3, padding y of 1, margin top of 2, and width fit. And inside this views, this will be visitor dot view count. So I think this is fine. Now the more user will visit this, there will be more stack of list items below this. If you go back here, you will be able to see all the stats of the users, and if you click on more details, then you can see all the details by the user IP. And let me actually center this. So here with full, flex call, and items center. Okay, now this looks good, and give this a more margin in the bottom, so give this 10. Okay, so I think we are now all done. Now the last thing that we need, that is we need to actually protect this route. That means I don't want that any people can visit this route. So if your website has authentication system, then you can protect this route by simply the authorized role of the user. And if there is no authentication system, like if this is a portfolio, then there will obviously not be any authentication system. Then how can you actually protect this route? So for that reason, what we will do, that is, firstly, let us go to the home. We will do one thing, that is, firstly, actually, let me close all the files. Now, inside frontend, inside src components navbar, this will not be any direct link to dashboard. So cut this link tag here. On click of this list item, on click, a function will be invoked, that is, let's say, go to dashboard. Let us create this function, const go to dashboard is equal to. So this function, firstly, it will ask for a password. We will use a package that is named sweet alert. Then go to suitealert2.github.io, click on the menu, then go to input types, then scroll below. Here you will find an alert for entering the password. So I will simply copy this. Now, firstly, close the server, then npm install suite alert 2, then again start the server, and on click of this function, firstly I will show a suite alert message. So this is await, so we have to make this function asynchronous, and we have to import swal from suite alert 2. So import swal from suite alert 2. Now if you click on the dashboard, you are being prompted for entering a password. So now create a .env.local file in your frontend home directory, .env.local. Then create a variable named pass equal to, I will simply write 1 2 3 4. Then here, if password is equal import dot meta dot env dot pass, then I will simply say correct password. Else swal dot fire incorrect pass. So let us try if this works or not. Now go to dashboard. It is asking for password. So 1 2 3 4. Oh, it's saying incorrect pass. So I think there is a convention to actually write Vite underscore pass here. Now save that, and here say Vite underscore pass. Now if you click here dashboard, say 1 2 3 1 2 3 4, click okay, now we are getting correct. So if the password is correct, then what will we do? We will simply navigate the user. Oh, firstly we have to create navigate. So const navigate is equal to use navigate, import it from React Router DOM. Then we'll simply navigate the user to slash dashboard page. Now click on the profile, then on dashboard. If you give a random password 1 2, okay, incorrect pass, and again click on dashboard. Now give the correct password 1 2 3 4. Now you can see we are being navigated to the dashboard page. But somebody can also go to dashboard page by simply changing the URL. So let us also prevent this. For that reason, what will we do? We will put the value of the password to local storage and then check if the password is present in the local storage or not. So local storage dot set item, let's name it pass, and the value will be json dot stringify, then the password. And we will go to the dashboard page here, and here create another state const password set password is equal to use state, let's say null. Now we'll run a use effect on the initial render, then an empty dependency array, then simply set password json dot parse local storage dot get item, then pass. Now if no pass or pass not equal to import dot meta dot env dot Vite underscore pass. Then okay, this is password, this is also password. So what will we do? Firstly, let us create a navigate const navigate equal to use navigate, then simply navigate this user, navigate to home page, and we have to put a dependency, that is navigate and password here. Now if you go to dashboard, press 1 2 3 4, okay. I think something has went wrong. Now you can see the password is here. Okay, I think this should be outside of the use effect hook. Now I think this is not needed. Okay, refresh, go to dashboard, 1 2 3 4. Okay, now we are inside slash dashboard. Now if you remove this password, let me delete this, delete, and refresh. Okay, we have to secure the details page also, so copy this and paste it in more details also, and also we have to copy the navigate and password state. Okay, import use navigate. Okay, so you are being redirected to home page. Now try to go to slash dashboard. You can see you cannot go there, or try to go to slash dashboard slash details. You cannot go there, but when you will give the password 1 2 3 4, okay, now you can go to slash dashboard, or if you again go to home and write here slash dashboard, now you can simply go, because if you go to inspect and application, here you can see there is password. So that's how you can actually protect these pages, and this will be only visible to yourself. So this was all about today. And if you want me to actually deploy the backend and frontend of this project, then you can comment on the comment box. And if you like the video, please press on the subscribe button and stay tuned for more interesting upcoming projects.